Hi mamas! This week we are going to talk about the easiest and best way to shorten and ease your labor. That is to eat dates late in your pregnancy, 6 dates a day. Initially my plan was to talk about a tip in this video, which is to eat more dates, and then to show you a bunch of ways to incorporate more dates into your diet, including a couple of recipes. But I think the video is going to be too long, so I think I'm going to make this a two-part series. Part one is going to be about how you can make labor easier just by eating dates. Easy enough, right? And then part two will be some date recipes that I have and I use. I'm going to talk about a couple of different studies that have been done that show that eating dates late in your pregnancy were not found to have any adverse effects on either mother or baby, but contributed to more favorable outcomes in labor. So, what these studies found is that there was a reduced need for labor augmentation, which means the use of prostaglandins and Pitocin during labor. And if you're VBACing, this is important because the use of prostaglandins and Pitocin are both independent risk factors for rupture beyond being a VBAC in general. So definitely if you're VBACing, you want to do what you can to avoid the use of prostaglandins and Pitocin in your labor. There are some situations in which those things may be used judiciously, but if you can make it easy for yourself to avoid the use of those things, you definitely want to do that. For women who ate 6 dates a day compared to women who did not eat any dates, the latent first phase of labor, which means when you're going from 0 to 4 centimeters dilated, that's the stage of your labor that's before active labor, and it tends to take the longest. The women who ate dates, their length of latent labor was almost half that of women who did not eat dates. So 8.5 hours versus over 15 hours. That's a big difference. They had greater dilation upon admission, which is great if you're VBACing or in general, because being more advanced in your labor upon admission reduces the need for later interventions in your labor and also the need for cesareans. More women had intact membranes on admission. So 83% of women who ate dates versus 60% of women who did not. If you are VBACing or not VBACing, that is a big deal because once your water breaks, the clock starts ticking. The cesarean clock starts ticking. So after 24 hours of your waters being broken, most doctors are going to tell you that they need to take you into a cesarean because the risk of infection for you and for your baby becomes high. There was a greater proportion of onset of spontaneous labor, which means going into labor on your own, not needing an induction. So 96% of women who ate more dates had a spontaneous onset of labor versus 79% who did not eat 6 dates a day. And the rate of augmentation was lower. So 28% of women who ate dates needed either Pitocin or prostaglandins, and then 47% of women, so almost half, who did not eat dates needed either Pitocin or prostaglandins. So this all leads to more favorable outcomes for mom and baby, and there were no observed negative repercussions from eating dates late in pregnancy. It did not contribute to earlier onset of labor, just spontaneous onset of labor, which is great for everybody. Okay, so that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was helpful to you. If you did, then please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends who are pregnant and want to have an easier labor or who are planning a VBAC. It really helps me out because I just started my channel, so I'm trying to find the people for whom this content is relevant. And also comment because I read every comment. I respond to every comment. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be back next week with recipes that will help you incorporate more dates into your diet. Have a lovely week, mamas. Bye. Why don't I look at the thing?